Hey everybody, so GPT-4 just dropped. That's a huge deal because this is the underlying technology from OpenAI that is behind ChatGPT and also their APIs. So it's a big deal that this new model is out, and I watched their demo, I read through all their documentation, and I'm here to share with you 5 crucial things you need to know about the new GPT-4. So let's go ahead and dive in on that. So the first thing that's very important to know here about ChatGPT's new kind of underlying model is that it's available now only to ChatGPT Plus users. So this is the $20 per month sort of premium version of ChatGPT. And I think a lot of people, when they first saw it, said, okay, why should I pay for a service that's pretty good when it's free? And it turns out the answer is because you get to use the newest model first. So it's a pretty clever way, I think, for OpenAI to get a lot more people to sign up for that $20 per month ChatGPT service. And also for their, to their credit, it also limits the number of people that are able to use it in the beginning so they don't get overwhelmed. So if you want to just dive in and start to use GPT-4 right now, you're going to have to sign up for that $20 per month GPT Plus. If you're already signed up for it, you can go and start to use the model right away. I confirmed if you subscribe today, you can go and use it. You don't have to be a user retroactively. So you can go and actually start to use the new model right away. Another big thing, and this was something that people speculated about for quite a while, the new version GPT-4 is multimodal. And what that means is that it's able to work with a variety of different kinds of inputs and outputs. It's not just text to text. And that's going to be true in the future. Technically, it's true of the model. They haven't enabled this. We'll get into that. But basically, now with the new model with GPT-4, you're able to do a lot more things that include visual inputs. So before, again, you could just put in text and get text back out. With DALL-E, you could put in text and get images. A multimodal system like GPT-4, you can go back and forth seamlessly. So the example they give is that you can give a picture of some ingredients and a prompt like, what can I make with these ingredients? And it'll actually give you some ideas based on what it sees in the photo. And that's a little bit of a silly prompt, I think. But more practically, this could be used to describe photos, which I'm super excited about, to write great alt text, to write descriptions for photos in a big catalog of a photographer's archive or an archive from an institution, to understand images for search and make them searchable, or even write whole articles based on the contents of an image. And given that it seems to have a good level of understanding, we'll have to see, but hopefully it'll be able to identify things like objects or places from images. But in any event, we're moving towards that. The caveat is that even though it is technically multimodal, at the moment they're just working with this one company, Be My Eyes, and they're the only partner that's got access to that now. Now, OpenAI said the reason for that is that they're not able to make it run fast enough for general use yet. So they're just limiting testing to this company, Be My Eyes. They help visually impaired people to understand photos. So good cause, good reason to start testing that out. As they make the model faster, they will start to roll out that multimodal function where you'll be able to put in photos, get photos back out, put in photos and get text, text to photos, so back and forth. Ultimately, it'll almost certainly involve video as well, but I think we're still a ways away from that. Probably just because they just don't have the processing power to handle it at this point. But multimodal, it was a big speculation about GPT-4, so pretty amazing to see that that's implemented, and that's the thing I'm most excited about. I want to see how it can process photos and annotate photos and write sort of human-like descriptions of them. There is an API, so if you go over to the announcement here, there's a couple of different ways. This is on the OpenAI website. There's a couple of different ways you can, sorry, wrong one. You can sign up to start to use this. Again, you can join the ChatGPT Plus to start to interact with it now, but if you want API access, they do have a wait list you can sign up for, and they said they're going to start to let people in from that wait list as soon as the first day. So there really seems like they're trying to move developers through faster than they have in the past. Sign up, join that wait list, and you'll get access as soon as you possibly can, but that will allow companies to build GPT-4 into their apps and services. So anything that's built on OpenAI's API is going to get smarter all of a sudden when this is ready to be implemented. Another big change, GPT-4 can process a huge amount more data than the previous models. So before we were limited to 4,096 tokens, which is about 5,000 words. And that included the prompt that you would give GPT and as well as its response. So if you wanted to give it like a whole article and then say, rewrite this, or summarize this or whatever, or a full document, it would struggle to do that. Or if you wanted to say, like, write a book, about this, or write a white paper about this topic, it couldn't really do it because it just didn't have the capacity. Now, the new version has been expanded to allow for 8,000 tokens and even support up to 32,000 tokens. So that's a lot more text that we're going to be able to use this for. And that's a huge, huge change versus the previous model. So you could probably have this write, 25,000 or even more words, depending on what you're doing with it. And that means you could have it write, a book, or you could have it write a long blog post, or you could dialogue with it as a chatbot for a much longer period of time. So a lot more text that it's able to work with, and that's a big step towards working with much longer documents and creating much longer pieces of content. Now, the final crucial thing to be aware of, it's also much better at human-like tasks. So GPT-4 can do stuff that people can do a lot better than GPT 3.5. And the way that they've tested that is actually using a bunch of different assessments that we use to evaluate how good humans are at doing stuff. And these are the exam results. I've kept scrolling past here for a variety of different exams, everything from the AP Environmental Science exam. We've got the LSAT on here somewhere. There it is. And you can see GPT 3.5 is the blue bars, and then GPT-4, with or without vision, is the green bars. So much bigger, much better improvement, much better performance on many of these tasks. And so a couple of these, for example, for AP Environmental Sciences, both models did pretty well. On the bar exam, though, which you have to take to become a lawyer, the GPT 3.5 was not very good. It did okay, but it didn't do great. Now it's actually in the top 90% or thereabouts of students. Pretty amazing performance on that. So if you're a lawyer, be aware it's able to pass the bar exam, not only just barely passing, but with flying colors. So it's probably coming for some aspects of the legal field. Same deal here with the LSATs. Again, the old model was decent at passing that. Now it's in the top 90% essentially of test takers. Some things it still struggles with. It's not great at AP Lit. It's not great at calculus exams, although much better than it was before. And any of these AP exams, it can pretty much knock out of the park at this point. So this is, passing tests is not exactly a super, useful function right out of the box. However, what that means and what that's a proxy for is that it can do, again, these sort of human-like tasks in a much more successful way. So that's really the main benefit here, is that it's able to do those kinds of things when it's actually released out into the real world and you're using it to solve whatever your own domain-specific problem is. It's going to be much better at that. So those are the five crucial things that take away from the new release. If you found this interesting or useful, please subscribe here on my YouTube channel. I'll be continuing to test and go through a lot with GPT-4. You can also find me on Medium. The new publication, The Generator, is covering generative AI, or at syntheticengineers.com. Thanks for tuning in. Check this out. Go ahead, grab the GPT Plus if you can afford that $20 a month. If you can't, then sign up for the waitlist for the API, and hopefully you can start to build it into your own products really soon.